Okay.
Go ahead, please.
I was reading not too long ago, I think it was Midrash or something.
Page
that
363.
Rebecca, when she felt this conflict within her and the unborn children, that she consulted the yeshiva of Shem and Aver. And it seems to me that Jacob and maybe Isaac are also associated, but I don't know anything about that. Is there a quick explanation as to...
Oh, very famous yeshiva. I remember there was a Chabad rabbi in Texas who sent his kids to a day school in the community. The day school, or whatever, they were serving not kosher food. Told them, I'm giving you an ultimatum, within 3 days, if you don't, I open my own yeshiva. He told them, how many students you have? He says, I will have the same yeshiva of Shem and Aver. It was Shem and Aver and Jacob. Me, my 2 sons. What's so bad about that? Shem was the son of Noah. Aver was Shem's grandson. These 2 were teaching Torah, whatever it means at that time. And and Isaac learned in their yeshiva, and Jacob learned in their yeshiva. Basically, Jacob was the student. That's what we know about Shem and Aver. And it's mentioned a few times in the Rashis and here and there.
The hints in the text are, we know there's a missing 20 years. And he
You're
has to be
right.
spending the time somewhere.
And that is 14 years, I think.
14
14 years. And the 14 years he was studying in the yeshiva from Shem and Aver.
Okay. And we know that Shem and Aver hadn't died by that time.
Yeah, Shem
They're
died a
still
little.
alive.
Yeah,
Okay.
Shem died a little bit after that. Yes.
There are other traditions that connect Shem to Melchizedek.
Melchizedek is Shem.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Melchizedek was the king of Jerusalem who came out and greeted Abraham with bread and wine, I think.
That's why it's called Jerusalem, wasn't it?
Melch because it's Shalem.
Shalem, yeah.
He was the king of Shalem.
Shalem, yes.
Shem was the king of a place that's called Shalem. Shalem later got the name of Jerusalem. Yerushalem. It's like this, it goes like this. Abraham took Shoyo, where the other Medrash puts it down. On page... page 138, number 18. It's written there. Melchizedek, king of Shalem. You see it? Shalem. And Rashi says Melchizedek. Midrashi Kagada. That is Shem, the son of Noah. That's one place. That you know that's the place that's called Shalem.
Now
Look in the bottom of the note, relating that he was Melech Shalem, king of Shalem, or Yerushalem. Bereishis Rabbah, the Medrash. Now, if you look on 1 second, we'll find it here in a minute. Shem Yireh, Ma Amokel Miroeh. Page 237. Abraham called the name of the place Hashem will see, Hashem Ireh. You see? Then Abraham called the Mount Moriah, the Temple Mount, he called it Ireh. That's the name he called it. We'll see. Jerusalem was called Shalem. Ireh, Shalem. From this became one word Yerushalayim.
Shalom is peace, so you see
Shalem
peace.
is peace, we'll see peace, yes.
Mhm.
Shalem is complete. But you're right, Ira means fear also. Ira means to see, Inira means fear. Irat Shalem, it's written that Irat Shalem means a complete fear of God. That's Jerusalem. When a person comes to Jerusalem, he has to feel a complete fear of God. That Yerushalayim is a name that's combined from these 2 things together. Shalem and Ira Shalem.
Is David the first one to combine those, or somebody before him?
Is David the first one to call the city Jerusalem? I think it's before, but I'm not sure. I think it's a little bit before that, that's why I remember
Because it was
something.
Bethel and then Luz, right?
Yeah, by the way, it's called Bethel. In this week's Parsha,
Yeah.
yeah, according to the Medrash, everything happened in Jerusalem, at the Temple Mount, right? Abraham offered Isaac at the Temple Mount. Jacob had a dream. Hello, like the...
Where's the rabbi?
Idea, we have a place for you. Don't worry. It's okay. Don't worry, go. Don't be afraid.
I'm not afraid.
That's right, let's reset it.
Then happened at the Temple Mount. The story, here in this big parsha, we start with the dream of Jacob, right? Jacob had a dream, he went to sleep. Really went to sleep? No, I'm sorry, the wrong parsha I gave you. Page 312. Vayeitzei Yaakov מבאר שבע וילך חרן. He went to Haran. Let's start to read a little bit, then we'll get to it.
Can I ask one quick question?
Yeah, please.
Yireh, fear. Is that, like if a bear is coming at me and I'm afraid, is that the same word in Hebrew?
Ira means fear, yes.
Okay,
Ira,
it's just like being afraid.
being afraid. Now, obviously, there is more meanings to the word afraid. You can have fear means also being in awe. It's also in Hebrew, it's the same word. Understand?
Okay, same word, okay.
Irat shamayim, it can be fear of an animal, it can be fear of being in awe. You're in front of a very great man. You're in awe. That's also, it's called in Hebrew the same word ira. Ira could also mean a deeper fear, a higher level, not just being afraid to somebody beat you up. Go ahead.
Yaakov left Beersheba and went toward Haran. He reached the place and spent the night there because the sun had set.
The place, Rashi says in the bottom of this page of 312, place, he reached the place.
Scripture does not identify which place, but it refers to the place mentioned elsewhere, which is Mount Moriah, about which it is said, and saw the place from afar.
The place, in Judaism, where is the place? The shul, the place, the city that everybody knows, Mount Moriah. Jacob went to sleep at Mount Moriah. Jacob slept at Mount Moriah, had a dream at Mount Moriah of the promise that God will give him the land. Abraham sacrificed Isaac, built the altar on Mount Moriah. Then we go back. Noah offered his sacrifices and he came out from the ark on Mount Moriah.
Just out of curiosity, why doesn't the text itself indicate that?
You know, the text even later, there is nowhere in the 5 books of Moses mention of Jerusalem.
We see Ryan 2nd Chronicles, which is
Not
the
in
very end
Jerusalem.
of the Bible.
That's what I'm saying. In the 5 books of Moses, Jerusalem is not mentioned. It's written in Deuteronomy, at the place that I will show you. I'll bring you to the place that I will show you, that I will choose. God never said which place it is. Why? Because it doesn't really make a difference which the place is. If it's the place that God chose, that's the place. It doesn't make a difference who it is and where it is. Understand? I think that's the explanation why not. And the same thing here, God sent Abraham, go to the place that I will show you, and you offer him as a sacrifice. He didn't even tell him where. Just go. You'll find, I'll show you. On the 3rd day, he saw the place from far. He understood that this is the place. It's written that he saw the cloud on top of the mountain. He understood that this is where God wants him to be. But from the Medrash says that this place always means the Temple Mount. Noah offered sacrifices on the Mount Moriah. And ultimately, the Talmud says, Adam and Eve were created from this place. Then everything happened in this place. And today when we go to this place, this is it. Now you can ask how exactly everything happened, that everybody ended up in the same place. It's a holy spot, it's like a magnet. Well, people go usually you go to a historic site once, Metzada. Go once. You go on Metzada, you climbed it, you're very happy, finished. People go to the Kotel again and again and again and again and again. It's not an historic place. Once upon a time, the temple was standing there. It's obviously a holy spot that draws people to it, Jews and non-Jews.
Is that the reason why Hamakom, the place, is one of the euphemisms for God, because God's presence is there? I mean,
That's a nice thought they did because it's here Amokim and here it's Amokim. Could be. There is something to it, yes. Yeah, makes sense what you're saying. There is, for example, when you go to a cemetery, when you go to a shiva, you say to a person, "May God comfort you among the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem." In Hebrew, they use the word Amakom, the place. God as a name, there is in a few places, and we say it in. We say it also in the Agoda. There is a place that we use the word Amakom. Baruch Hamakom Baruch Hu. Blessed is the place. Use God the name as the place. And you say that the connection, the ear, they call the place. They don't even give it a name. Because it's written that God is the place of the world. God is not inside the world is inside God, you understand? You put God inside, and put the world inside God, so to speak. God is greater than the world, and the world is within Him. That's why we call God the place. He's the ultimate place, if you want. And this is the ultimate place. That actually makes a lot of sense, yes. That's an interesting thought, yes, absolutely. Then he slept in this place, right? Okay, continue.
He took some of the stones of that place and arranged them around his head, and laid down to sleep in that place. He dreamed, and behold, a ladder was set up on the earth, and the top of it reached toward heaven. And behold, angels of Elohim were ascending and descending on it.
Can we stop now?
Please,
Okay, lots of questions at this point.
go ahead.
Why at this point does he have a dream as opposed to an actual experience like Abraham?
How you know that Abraham did not have a dream?
Well, some people say he had a dream.
I think it's written clearly that he had a dream.
Well,
In the
The only one that
in
can
the
direct.
covenant of the
one
world.
place in chapter 17 it's a dream, but when the three strangers come to meet him,
1 second, chapter.
But that's
17.
not such a, that's not as high a level. I mean,
Yeah, in
Jacob
hello, in chapter 15 you
blesses
probably
with
mean.
an angel.
On page 148, and the sun was setting, a deep sleep fell upon Abraham, and a dread of deep darkness fell upon him. He fell asleep. And then, and he, Hashem, said to Avram, know for sure that the whole thing that your children will suffer in Egypt for 400 years. All of this was a dream.
in chapter 18, though, when the three strangers are coming. and God-
Angels, not God. Oh,
I
you mean,
understand. That angel experience, at least in the text, is not a dream.
you're right, but it's not God. Not the revelation from God Himself.
Uh-huh.
The revelations of God usually go by dreams.
Mhm, okay.
Very
No.
rarely,
Only Moshe had direct.
only Moses had direct messages like this, without a dream.
The-
It's true way.
What's up?
Sulam is a ladder. Sulam is a ladder. What?
Famous rock crew.
It's a song,
Oh,
Stair-
the song.
Stairway to Heaven.
Or Stairway to
Yeah,
Heaven.
it's a great song.
One of the longest songs ever written.
Can you sing a few bars?
What's the song about?
We don't know.
It wasn't quite religious.
You're talking about 20-year-olds who write a song. You don't listen to the words.
It would be anti-religious.
In the meantime, the concept of having, steps, so to speak, to get to heaven, what's the symbolism of that? 'Cause people don't
Symbolism,
look at fly.
the symbolism is for us, is prayers. Prayers is a ladder to go closer to God. It's all about steps. You go another step and another step and another to get closer to God. I think it's a very clear symbolism that all journey to God is of steps.
It's also a
Something you have
symbolism
to
for our
purify
levels.
yourself.
That we're
Purify and purify to.
yeah, it's steps and
We say in the book of Psalms,
purification first of all.
they say in the book of Psalms, Mi ya'aleh be'ar Hashem, mi yakum bimkom kodsho. Who will climb the mountain of God? You have to climb. God is on the mountain, so to speak, and we have to climb up to God. Moses had to go up to Mount Sinai. Sure, absolutely.
And the other thing is that it's not a direct descent up. There's the moon where you come up and it's like the moon and the moon having a crescent shape and the waxing and waning. That we move
That's
up and
another
down.
point, but first of all, I hear what you say. The angels go up and down, because the goal is not only to go up.
They start going from the ground and go up. The ones
You
that
are-
are here
you will go
already
up,
are the ones that
exactly.
go up.
And the other end, you bring other angels down.
Mhm.
Because the goal the goal is not only to run away from life, to go to heaven. The goal is to be here, to climb, and the other hand not to forget about the earth. It's called in Kabbalistic language, Ratzov Veshov, up and down, back and forth. You have to want to be with God, actually be in the world. If you are a whole week in the synagogue and don't go to work, that's not God's will. If you're a whole week at work and forget about the synagogue, that's again not God's will. God wants you to be the office place and think about the synagogue.
So he wants us to be directed both ways. So to speak.
Absolutely. Yes.
It's polarized opposites.
It's like going crazy. Whatever you do is not good enough. He wants you to be here and think about that. That you want me to be here, that I'll be here completely. No. Think about that I'll be there. No, don't be there, be here.
Same symbolism with the Star of David, pointed up and pointed down, right?
Oh, that's I never thought about that, but yeah, it's the same idea. And this is really what Hashem wants from us. That's why the angels of God go up and go down. It's not you have to go one way. We say it in the Haftorah, this word Ratzov Veshov, in the Haftorah Shem Shavuot, when Prophet Ezekiel, right, describes the Merkava, he describes the chariots of God. What he saw, that he saw Chayot means animals, literally. Ratzov Veshov, they go up and down, back and forth. Because that's the constant, it's like the blood that goes from the heart. It's a constant, that's what life is all about.
Where are these angels coming from that are already down here? Now, we've seen several in the story. We see Abraham, the three angels that visit Abraham. Are those some of the angels that are going back up?
No. He said, Rashi said it right here on page 314 in the bottom. Ascending and descending. It states Olim.
What line?
Bottom of page 314, number 12 in the Rashi. Rashi. Right there, yeah.
Ascending and descending. It states ascending first and descending afterwards. Those angels that accompanied him in Eretz Yisrael do not go outside Eretz Yisrael and ascended to heaven. Then the angels of outside of Eretz Yisrael descended to accompany him.
Now you know which angels?
I understand Rashi's understanding of that.
Yeah.
We kind of don't see that in the text, though. We don't see...
Which angels? Listen, in the text he's talking about the dream. He saw angels going up and down. And the literal sense, they don't have to come from anywhere. They just, that's a business. They go up and they go down, they go down.
It's a message in his dream, obviously.
The message is that you create your own angels who go up, and God creates these angels and send to you.
Are there any commentators that connect Abraham's three angels to these angels going up? Because
I never heard. Maybe, but I never heard. Could be, but I never heard. And what God is telling him, number 13 in the text. And behold,
Adonai stood above it.
Above him.
Above.
It's a very strange translation. In Hashem Nitzov Olav means God stands like in top of him. It's written in Tanya that every Jew has to feel constantly that Hashem stands in top of him. Stands right before him. But Rashi says there's something very interesting. In the bottom of the same page, stood above it to guard him. When God is in front of you, you don't have to be afraid. It's not like he's going to come. He's guarding you. You have nothing to worry about. In Hashem Nitzov Olav. The Rebbe made certain paragraphs from the Bible and from the Talmud and from Chassidus that every child should know by heart. One of them, the 12 psukim, the 12 verses, one of them starts with this word, and here is God standing above him. And he looks at him, and he's like checking and looking inside his heart to see if he's serving him correctly. And that's what this line, V'ina Hashem Nitzov Olav, comes from here. God stood in top of Jacob, and he told him,
And said, I am Adonai, God of Abraham, your father, and God of Yitzhak. The land upon which you are lying, I will give to you and to your descendants.
The land that you are lying upon, that Rashi says that the whole land was folded under Abraham, under Jacob. Look Rashi in the bottom of page 315, upon which you are laying. Go ahead. On the page 315 in the bottom. The word is upon which you are laying, is the bold.
Oh, upon which you are lying, God folded the entire Eretz Yisrael beneath him. Thereby he gave him a sign that as it will as easily be conquered by descendants as 4 cubits.
Then somebody wants to ask, what if Where were everybody else? If God folded under Jacob the whole land, where was everybody at that moment? What's the answer? It was just a dream. Not a reality, it was a dream. But in the dream, God folded everything under him and he told them, this is your land. God gave him a very good, powerful blessing. Then God gave him a line that became the slogan of Chabad. Number 14 in the text, page 315, number 15.
Your descendants shall be as the dust of the earth. You shall spread to the west, to the east, to the north, and to the south. For you shall be blessed, all the families of the earth, and through your descendants.
Here it says, Ufaratzta Yama Vakedma V'tzafona V'negba. Later it became a famous song. Ufaratzta, right? This comes from here. God tells Jacob he will spread all over, in every direction.
What's the message here? Is that the message of exile, or is that the message of spreading monotheism, or mission? Is it the mission or the exile?
I think the whole purpose of the exile is to spread the mission.
Yeah, there's
Why
a
we are
whole
exiled?
commentary.
The exile is to spread the mission. God doesn't give an exile just for the sake of punishing somebody. The reason for the exile is for we should spread the believing God. That's why Jews are all over the world. Why we're not only in Israel? Because we're supposed to be all over the world. Who is going to teach the world about God? That's our job. And this is the message, no question about it. Page 316, I'm sorry.
Behold, I am with you, and I will guard you wherever you go, and I will bring you back to this land. I will not forsake you until I have done that which I have spoken to you. Yaakov awoke from his sleep and said, in truth, Adonai is in this place, and I did not know it. He was afraid and said, how awesome is this place? This is none other than the
You see,
house
it's
of the Lord.
translated, he was afraid, but it was awesome. Manora, Nora is the same word as Ira, it's the same word, but here it's translated afraid, and here it's translated awesome, you see? He was in awe of this place. Go ahead, I'm sorry. This is the house of the God, and this is the gate of heaven, right? On top of the page. That's the text. Go
So that's
ahead.
the point at which heaven and earth connect.
Oh,
basically.
what does this mean? Oh, first of all, that's the gate of heaven. That's why we pray in Jerusalem. That's why we pray east, because this is the gate to heaven. This is the house of God, this is the gate to heaven. That's why we pray to Jerusalem. It's not always east, depends where you are in the world. If you're in China, where it's going to be west. No? Even in Israel alone, if you're in Sfat, you're praying the south or something. It's towards Jerusalem. Everywhere in the world, you sit on a plane, you have to ask where is east, and you pray towards east. Because this is the gate to heaven. Whatever it means, the gate to heaven. But
So
this,
people up north of Israel, are there, it's towards the south, that's where the pulpit is?
Absolutely, yes. Everybody is towards Jerusalem. It's not east. It's usually east, but in many cases it's not.
When did that tradition start?
It's in the Talmud. It's
Is it
written.
biblical as well? Is it biblical as well?
In the Bible, I think it's written about Daniel. That Daniel used to. I think it was Daniel. Daniel went up to. He used to go up onto his attic and open a window. He had a window towards Jerusalem and used to pray. From there it's coming. From the story of Daniel. But Daniel is biblical. I mean, the end. Obviously, even everybody was in. The whole concept of prayer started only in the beginning of the Second Temple. Understand? And Daniel was in exile. And in exile, in Babylon, he prayed for Jerusalem. From there comes the. There is another verse. The Jewish people should pray towards this place, towards the place of Jerusalem. I think who says it? One of the last prophets. I think. Who went to Babylon together with the Jews? Which prophet? Ezekiel, right? But Ezekiel said it. They should pray towards the land. And again, from this we learn that you have to pray towards this place. Then since then it became the gate of heaven, and it's still the gate of heaven. That still we pray. Everybody prays towards this place.
Why do we emphasize call Jerusalem Zion as opposed to the Temple Mount? What's the significance there?
What do you mean?
They're different mountains. We hear the term Zion all the time as having great significance. And that's a different mountain in Jerusalem, right?
Mount Zion and Mount Moriah.
Just, they're both significant mountains?
No, Mount Zion is not significant at all. Mount Moriah is not significant. Well, I don't think Mount Zion is a biblical name.
We hear Zion.
Who gave the name to Mount Zion? Mount Zion. I think it's a new thing. I don't know. I don't think it's a biblical name.
We hear Zion all the time.
Zion is as Jerusalem is Zion.
Uh-huh.
Zion is the whole city. All of Israel is called Zion, really.
And what does Zion mean?
Literally,
Uh-huh.
Zion means Zion. Zion means making a sign. Symbolize, let's say, a graveside, a gravestone is called Zion. You know that? I made a sign that something is here. When you walk around and you say, I made a sign that nobody should walk over this. That's called the Tzayen, to point out. That's what Zion means. And I think Zion means that's God made a sign. This is the place that's this place is significant. It's different than the rest of the places.
Is it the sign of God's presence, or is it the sign of...
Probably the God's presence. Yeah. Show that this is the holiest site. Yeah, in the world. Jacob got up early in the morning.
Yaakov rose early in the morning and took the stone that he had placed at his head, and he set it as a monument, and poured oil on its top. Question.
Yeah.
We start with several stones, and we've now got the stone.
Yeah, Rashi says it, no?
Okay.
You know that Rashi says it.
Okay.
Probably, no?
Okay, well, there's all
became one
kinds of
stone.
12 stones become one stone, the symbolism for the
Mhm.
unification of Israel. Is this if Abraham sacrificed Isaac on a rock,
Mm-hmm.
and then there were 12 rocks that became one rock,
Mm-hmm.
and then we've now got the dome of the rock, where the temple
What's the rock?
sacrifices were.
What's the rock symbolizes?
Well, not so much what the rock symbolizes. We're talking the same rock.
Don't know the same rock. I wouldn't swear that the rock that they have now is the same rock. I don't know, but it's for sure a rock. They argue the same rock, but I knew a guy that told me that once he lay down on the rock, he went there, a Jewish boy, a little off, and he said he wanted to just to show them that there's nothing special there. He just lay down on the rock, the dome of the rock. He's lucky that nobody killed
Yeah,
him.
definitely.
But it was many years ago, but he did it. But I don't know if it's the same rock.
In theory, we would think it would be the same rock, but
Yeah, about the same rock that Jacob slept on and that
Exactly.
Abraham.
I don't know. We don't know.
I
It's
thought it
4,000
was.
years.
Okay.
We don't know if it's the same rock. Not even this.
But the
The-
spot's the
the-
same.
Close. We still don't know exactly.
there are a lot of rocks there.
It's also been under Arab control for so
Exactly.
long. They destroy
But I
everything
thought-
else with
But I
it.
thought in reading it, it was the same.
I know, but nobody really knows. I mean to say, the Ark of the Covenant used to stand on the rock, and the second temple did not have an ark, and only the rock. But to say that this rock is this rock, I don't know. And really, it doesn't really make a difference. I mean, it's somewhere there, the rock. If it's this or this, I don't know. But nobody knows. Nobody can say for sure. That's,
But when
when this Moshiach will come.
Then we'll tell you where the rock
Oh,
supposed to be.
when Moshiach will come, we will need a prophet to tell us exactly where to put the altar. The altar has a specific place, and we need to know exactly where the altar is. Then Moshiach will tell us where the altar is. No. The rock is for the Ark of the Covenant, but the altar is also a specific place. But we don't know yet. That's why we don't build it. That's one of the reasons why we don't build it, because we need a prophet to tell us where to build and what to build and how to build. We don't know yet. Then he got up the rock and he go ahead.
He named that place Beit El,
Beit El, yeah.
but Luz was the original name of the
Luz, what a
city.
name.
is it the same as the bone in the lower back?
That's a
Okay.
Luz. Lose is the, yeah, there is a bone loose, it's called, yeah. That's a
But it's not on your back, it's in your neck.
your neck, your
By
neck.
the skull.
Neck or your coccyx.
No, no,
neck.
because this is where your soul connects.
So next, what is this name?
As opposed to, this is when you die, that this is when you're resurrected.
This
it's
is the,
loose.
no, that's written that the etzem luz, there is a certain bone right here in your neck, that this will remain from a person, no matter what, you
That's
cannot erase it. And from this, God will create a new body at the resurrection of the dead.
Yes, that's right.
Today it's much easier to understand. Today we know about cloning. You take one ear, you clone a whole person. You take one bone, and the way the Talmud describes it, the Medrash describes it, it's like a Play-Doh, like a doll that you take and you take this little and you create a whole new doll from the same thing.
And this is where the
The
Dalit
Torah
sits for our
addresses
tefillin.
cloning.
Ah,
This is where the Dalit sits for our tefillin.
yes. What?
Torah already knew about cloning.
No, what I'm saying is cloning is so much easier, gives us so much easier to understand what the Medrash speaks about the resurrection of the dead.
Right.
Then this place is called Bethel, the house of God.
And called Luz, but Shem called it Shalom. Is it just simply two different names?
You know,
Lots of different-
cities change names over history. That's not
You see
a...
multiple names for people and cities.
Yeah, especially in the olden days used to be when a person gets a new job, he gets a new name. It was a very common behavior. Like Pharaoh. Every king was named Pharaoh. Pharaoh the First, look in the Pope. The Pope is Benedict the 16th, and this the 14th, and Paul John the this. Everyone has a different name. I mean, they get a job and they get a different name. That's what it's all about. Made a promise to God.
And Hashem will be with me and guards me on this path that I am going and gives me bread to eat and clothing to wear. And if I return in peace to my father's house, then Hashem will be my God. Then the stone which I have set as a monument will become a house of God, and all of that you give, I will surely give you a tenth to you. Give a tenth to you.
Yeah.
So, critics have taken a look at this, even, I think, Nachmanides, who said, it sounds awfully conditional on Jacob's part. It doesn't sound like a man of faith here.
You can make a deal with God. No question you can make a deal with God. If God will give me this, I will give him back this. No, it's not a man of faith. It's in top of it. Doesn't mean that he doesn't believe that God will do. Just the opposite, he made a commitment. If God will do whatever he promised me,
God's already promised.
God already promised him. Jacob later, he was still afraid. No matter how many times God promised him, it was never enough. And Jacob had this...
So why was that exactly? Because,
Why was he afraid?
well, he was afraid that his brother was gonna kill him, but Hashem told him that he was gonna protect him.
But he may have used
So-
up all of his,
In one word, he didn't feel deserving of this protection. He knew that God promised him. He trusted God, but he felt so humble, so undeserving, that he constantly felt, why should God give it to me? The closer he got to God, the more humble he felt, the more small he felt. Katonti, he felt small in front of the eyes of God. Then he didn't feel that he deserves it, that he constantly said to God, that he got the promising God. It's like what's called compulsive, what it's called? Obsessive compulsive. A little bit.
Guilty.
Exactly. Then you understand what I'm saying? That he was constantly saying, you're right, all the commentaries ask, why is he asking again and again the same thing? That was Jacob.
So really, to make a deal with God, it almost shows like more like you have a lot of faith. I mean, it's a relationship,
It's
right?
a relationship.
Yeah.
And that's the amazing thing about it. You make a deal with God. It's a God, here's the deal. You do this, I do this.
We really shouldn't translate it as if. It's since you are promised this, then I will.
Listen, I can tell you that people make deals with God and it worked. I can see it like time and again. So somebody wanted to sell his house. I told them, God is waiting for a deal.
If you ask God for good health, he'll give you good health. But if you ask God for good health and say, and if you give me good health, I'll use my good health to, for you.
God, so to speak, wants something in return. You see, like we learned last week's Parsha with the blessings from Esau. From Jacob, Isaac tells him, bring me food and I'll give you a blessing. It's a give and take. God created the world as give and take. The relationship is a give and take, not only between men and men, between men and God. Because it's between men and God a give and take, that's why between men and men it's also a give and take.
we see it with Hannah. Hannah says, give me a child
And I'll dedicate it to God. Not for me, for you. It's a give and take. It's always like this. Then when we come
They're
back,
living in ugly stuff.
when the Rebbe, when people came to for a blessing from the Rebbe said, okay, what are you giving for God? If you give something for God, God will give you something. Give you in return. Same thing, we learned it from Jacob. Jacob said, if you give me this, I'll give 10% from everything that I have. That's and many, I mean, for sure it's a higher level to give without making any deals with God and to have trust in God. But this is another way of communicating with God.
And this is the first time the 10% came in the.
Second
No,
time.
the second
No,
time,
second
this the first time.
Melchizedek.
Yeah, Abraham, when he came in Lech Lecha, when he on page 139, Melchizedek he says, and blessed be, and Abraham gave him a tenth of everything. Melchizedek was a Kohen. It's written before on page 138, number 18, it's written, he was a Kohen of the Most High Almighty, a Kohen to God. Whatever it meant at that time, that Abraham gave the Kohen 10%.
When did that become
Law?
an obligation? I mean, because it seems like here it wasn't an obligation.
No, it wasn't an
So-
obligation, no.
Should have given Malachi.
But since Jacob, it became like a mitzvah the Jewish people were doing. What are you saying?
We see the 10% tithe again in Malachi.
Malachi, yeah. That it says if you, that no, in the book of Malachi it says, if this is, usually we're not allowed to test God. We're not allowed to say, God, if I do this mitzvah, you will give me this. You cannot say, if not, it means, but on charity, God says you can test me. If you give charity, you'll get 10 times more. That's what's written in Malachi. Ubchanuni no bazot, you can test me on this. But it's written before that, the idea of tithe is written before that even. But not about money so much, it's written about other things. 10% of money to charity, I think it's a rabbinic law, not a biblical law. At least according to some opinion.
What are the other things?
Used to be 10%, you have to give to the Kohen and to the Levi and to the poor man and so on and on.
But you said not just money, I thought there was
There was food, there was produce. That was the tithe. The real tithe started from produce, not from money. Even at that time, what do you think he gave 10% to what? There was no money at that time. It was produce, goods, whatever they had goods that they had at that time. Cattle, exactly, they had money. Now it's a different world. It's a world of money. And then finally Jacob is going. Jacob, after this dream, he woke up in the morning, he was a different person. He's ready to go. He's excited. God is protecting him.
Yaakov then lifted his feet and went toward the land of the people of the east. He looked and saw a well in the field, and behold, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying beside it.
He saw a well, and he came to the well, and in the well he found his mate, right? His shidduch. Who else found the shidduch by the well? Eliezer.
Found Rebecca.
Who else?
Moses.
Moses. Moses found Jethro's daughters by the water. There is something romantic about water. Everything happens there. Go ahead, please, I'm sorry.
3 flocks of sheep lying beside it, for from that well the flocks were watered. There was a large stone over the mouth of the well. When all the flocks were gathered, the shepherds would roll the stone from the well's mouth and water the sheep. They would then return the stone to its place over the mouth of the well. Yaakov said to them, "My brothers, from where do you come?" They said, "We are from Haran." He said to them, "Do you know Laban, the son of Nahor?" They said, "We know him."
We know him. If you realize the answers of the people from Haran are very short one. We know him, yes, from Haran. Maybe because they were all like this, and maybe because they said, we know him. You bet we know him. Do you know Laban? Oh, we know him. Everybody knew him. He said to them,
"Is he doing well?" They said,
He's
"He's doing well."
In Hebrew it's even worse. A shalom, Lord. They said, shalom, period, one word, not more.
Behold, Rachel's daughter is coming with the sheep. He said to them, "The day is yet long, it is not yet time for the sheep to be gathered. Water the sheep and go pasture them." They said, "We cannot do so until the flocks have gathered and the shepherds roll the stone from the mouth of the well." Then we can water the sheep. While he was still speaking with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she was the shepherdess. When Yaakov saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, with the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, he stepped near and rolled the stone from the mouth of the well, and then watered the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother. Yaakov kissed Rachel and cried in a loud voice. Yaakov told Rachel that he was a relative of her father.
Let's skip a little bit and go to page 327.
On the top, Rachel was beautiful.
Yeah.
Rachel was of beautiful form and of beautiful appearance.
Okay, that's a continuation of before. It mentions that Laban had two daughters, Rachel and Leah, right? And Rachel was beautiful, and Leah's eyes were tender from crying. She knew she's going to fall into the hand of Esau, and she didn't like it. And she prayed all the time it shouldn't happen to her. And here Jacob came for the purpose of Rachel, right? That was his basher.
Well, they knew what he said.
About Esau? Oh. You know, Laban and Rebecca were brother and sister, right? Laban had two daughters, Rebecca had two sons. Cousins, first cousins. The cousins knew that they will marry each other.
There was contact between
There
the
was
two girls.
contact, people went back and forth. And they knew that the older will marry the oldest, and the younger will marry the oldest. No, people come from out of town. Rachel is asking, how is my boy? Jacob, he's so nice to his parents, and everybody loves him. He's a valedictorian, he's doing everything. Then Leah is asking, how is my boy? Oh, Esau! When he rides his motorcycle, the whole city is afraid. You can imagine how Leah felt and how she got scared to marry this gangster that everybody is afraid of. Then when Jacob went to Haran, he didn't go to look for a girl somewhere or go find somebody to talk to a shadchan. He knew exactly where he's going. That explains why when he saw Rachel, he kissed her. What is this business he kissed her? He knew that is Basher. And that's who he's supposed to marry. Therefore he came right away to Laban and he told Laban, I want to marry, I'll work for 7 years to marry Rachel. Right? And he told him that clear. I'll work 7 years for Rachel, your youngest daughter. To make sure that Laban doesn't lie to her. Your youngest daughter I'll marry. It didn't happen. He was ready to work for 7 years. By the way, it was Jacob's offer. Isn't this interesting? Everything about marriage, from here we learn also at 7. He worked for Rachel for 7 years. Then he celebrated, as we're going to see soon, he celebrated the marriage of Leah and the marriage of Leah, of Rachel, 7 days. Again 7. It's all about in 7. That's why there is 7 blessings, that's why 7 days. It's all about 7. Now let's start
This
on
is where
page
they get the saying, 7-year itch, Rabbi.
7 years.
7-year itch.
What is this?
I
Okay,
bet that
time
is
after
really
7
bad.
years. Okay, then let's read in chapter 327, page 327, we'll start from the third aliyah, number 18.
Yaakov loved Rachel,
Mhm.
and he said, I will work for you 7 years for Rachel, for your younger daughter.
Okay.
Laban said, better that I give her to you than I should give her to another man. Remain living with me. Yaakov worked 7 years for Rachel, but they seemed to him like a few days. So much did he love her.
Beautiful. Right.
Yaakov said to Laban, give me my wife, for my term is completed, and thus I will consummate the marriage with her. Laban gathered all the local people and made a wedding feast. When it was evening, he took Leah his daughter and brought her to him, Yaakov. He consummated the marriage with her. Laban gave Zilpah, his servant, to her, to Leah, and his daughter as a handmaid. When it was morning, behold, it was Leah. He, Yaakov, said to Laban, what have you done to me? Did I not work with you for Rachel? Why did you deceive me?
Okay, he came in the morning and look, behold, it was Leah. Really? What happened? Where was Leah? How Leah cooperated? Why didn't complain to Leah? Leah is not a little girl. Even she's a little girl, she's married. Why you lie to me? How dare you lie to me? Then the Medrash says, Jacob didn't complain to Leah, but he couldn't complain too much. She told me, did you talk? Didn't you lie to your father and you said that you are Esau, right? If you are Esau, I'm Rachel.
That's how the whole marriage started.
Now it's three things is here. First of all, if he lied, he shouldn't complain that somebody. If he deceived his father, he cannot complain that somebody deceives him. That's number one. Number two, didn't he say that he's Esau? Doesn't she supposed to marry Esau? He's Esau, right? If he's Esau, that she married the right person. What are you complaining? You told your father you're Esau, right? That I married Esau? Number two, and this is a true statement, Jacob bought the birthright from Esau, right? That is the oldest one, right? She's the oldest and was supposed to marry the oldest. That's why he didn't have complaints to Leah. She told him, on every level, I'm supposed to marry you. If you said you are Esau, that's one. Number two, you have the birthright. You're the oldest one. If you're the oldest one, I'm supposed to marry the oldest one. What do you want from me? But more than that, we see something very powerful there, the power of prayers. Leah wanted to marry a righteous man. She cried and cried and prayed, and she finally accomplished it. Not only she accomplished it with flying colors. She had 6 sons with Jacob. A half of the 12 tribes comes from Leah, and a daughter. She lived longer than Rachel with Jacob. Rachel died at a young age. She was the mainstay of the house of Jacob. She was the ultimate mother, if you want, of the house. Because she cared to marry a righteous person, and she didn't want to marry a criminal. But, on the other hand, that's as side, like everything that you try to push your luck, to push your destiny, there is also bad outcomes from that. Leah, the Talmud, the Medrash points out that maybe if Leah would marry Esau, he would do tshuva. You know, many women bought their husband thanks to back to Judaism, right? You all know about some of them.
Some could be in this room.
Some. Then what does this mean? That you can maybe if Leah would marry Esau, she would run away. Oh, Esau is a bad guy. If this is your destiny, if this is your bashert, if you would marry him, I mean, I wouldn't suggest it to anybody to marry some criminal with the intention to make him into a righteous man. The Rebbe used to say, you know, sometimes girls or boys said, I want to marry somebody who is not religious, but you know, I'll make him religious. The Rebbe used to say, you don't make mitzvahs in packages, in 2 mitzvahs in one shot. There is a mitzvah to get married, and there is a mitzvah to bring somebody back to Judaism. These 2 mitzvahs don't go together. They decide which mitzvah you want to do with this guy, to marry him or to bring him to Judaism.
Don't mix business and pleasure.
Exactly, that's a good example.
Would Rabbi Akiva be the example then? When his wife brought him?
Yeah, Rachel made on Rabbi Akiva is Rabbi Akiva. That's a perfect example of somebody who turned around and saved the whole Jewish nation because of them. Rabbi Akiva is one of the, a perfect example. But that's what really is happening here. And what happened to Leah? Leah didn't want to marry Esau. And then later, when Jacob comes back from Haran with his all 11 children, they put Dinah in a box, according to the Talmud, because they were afraid that Esau will lay his eyes on her and he will want to marry her. Shine. Esau didn't marry her. What happened to Dinah? Shechem. Can you save yourself from a situation? Look, there is a rabbi, there was a woman who was killed now last week in Kiryat Malachi, in a Chabad Hebrew. This woman is a shlucha from Chabad in India.
She came over to think of
She came to Israel to give birth, he was killed from a missile, right there, in his own house. Not in India. The other Chabad rabbis were killed in India. And the same date of the anniversary of the death of the first couple. Anniversary of the death. She was killed in Nachos Chabad. The way, you know many mice from India, from Mumbai, the people say, oh, Mumbai is not safe. In Nachos, in Kiryat Malach is safe. And there is. And here she changed her destiny. She accomplished, but she created a lot of trouble. What the old trouble with Joseph and the brothers? Where it's coming from? From two mothers, children from two mothers who are in a rivalry. There is a rivalry there. There's fights because they're from two different mothers. That's what caused the selling of Joseph. That was caused the exile of the Jews in Egypt. Then you can say that Leah caused the exile of the Jews to Egypt. And the old Pesach, they drink 4 cups of wine, you have to eat maror. Who we can blame on it? Can blame Leah on it.
To what extent do we see, Leah is the mother of Judah, who becomes the leading southern kingdom tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel is the mother of Joseph, who in Ephraim, Joseph's son, becomes the leading northern tribe. And again, do we get the rivalry there as well?
Sure.
Okay.
It was a fight between the kingdom of Israel and the kingdom of Judah. The kingdom of Israel there was a time, most of the years, that the Jewish people were in the land of Israel, was a constant rivalry between the two kingdoms. The kingdom of Judah and the kingdom of Israel. Right after King Solomon died, right by his son, the beginning of his life, he had a fight with his people. He wanted to make the taxes higher, what Obama wants to do now. They told them, go fly. They created a new kingdom. And who was the first king? Yerovam ben Nevat, Jeroboam, right? Since then, for the next 300 years, until we say the 10 tribes, the exiled tribes, the lost 10 tribes. Who are the lost 10 tribes? It's an old kingdom, led by Ephraim, the tribe of Ephraim. They were the leaders, the kings. They made the old Jewish people worship idols in their kingdoms. There was a constant rivalry between the kingdom of Judah, was Jerusalem and around it, and the kingdom of Israel, that was Ephraim. Ephraim and Judah were head in head. The fight between Joseph and Judah continued all the way to the end.
Yeah, but Benjamin didn't fight. They had problems with Benjamin.
Benjamin was actually
Benjamin was with
Judah.
Judah, I know.
Okay, but Ephraim is the son of Joseph. The fight was always in Joseph. Benjamin was like a little boy, you don't ask him what to do. It was Ephraim and Judah. It was Joseph and Judah. That constant, and it's written when Moshiach will come, will be, according to the Medrash, be Moshiach the son of Joseph, and Moshiach the son of Judah. Again, it's a constant rivalry. The Haftorah of this week, I think, speaks about that will be when Moshiach will come. קח לכו the God told the prophet to take 2 pieces of wood and to write on one end the name of Judah, and then to write another piece of wood the name of Ephraim, and to hold them in one end. And this will be a symbolic that one day when Moshiach will come, the two rivalries, the two sides who are fighting each other, will be united as one people. Oh, the Haftorah of Vayigash, it's almost by then, it says, Ata ben Adam, it's from Ezekiel. God tells Ezekiel, take a piece of wood and write of it the name of Judah. Take another piece of wood, write of it Joseph, and the tree of Ephraim, and bring them together one next to, and they should be as one in your hand, and that will be a symbolic that one day they will be united. But you're right, that all rivalry starts all in. And since then, there was continuous fighting forever and ever.
So why did God allow this to happen? Makes for a long story, I know. That's a good question.
Bad things happen to good people.
No. Oh, no.
This whole mess really got started here. Isn't there a way to
Why
solve
there
it?
is Yetzer Tov and Yetzer Ra?
Because there's potential for good and potential for evil.
More, no, it's a
Why?
struggle. Because it's struggle.
Struggle, it's all about the struggle. God, on a simple level, it's not fair. If only one good place is good and one place is bad, there is no free choice. But more than that, it's the struggle. What God wants from us is the struggle.
That's
God
right.
doesn't expect from us to be righteous. God doesn't expect from us to be perfect. But God don't want us to give up. As long as you struggle, as long as you put up a fight, that's the will of God. There is within every person the two souls, the two forces, the force of good and the force of, not necessarily evil, the selfish side of a person. The godly soul and the animal soul, right? Then the whole job is, nobody thinks they will become righteous, we'll take our animal soul and convert them to become holy, and we will only run around to shuls all day. We will love synagogue like we love chocolate. It's just not going to happen. But as long as you put up a fight, as long as you struggle, that's what the Hashem wants. God wanted Ephraim, and God wanted Judah, and God wanted every Jew should have the choice to be like Ephraim, to be like Judah. Judah is the righteous, Ephraim are the idol worshippers. Where are you going? But ultimately, what do you recite in the prayer of Rosh Hashanah? Abein Yakir li Ephraim. Who says this prophecy? Jeremiah. He says, my dear son Ephraim is my son that I play with him. Every time when I speak about them, my kishkas turn around. Why say kishkas in English?
Intestines.
Like your guts.
Your guts. Oh. And what is this? Basically, Jeremiah says that this Ephraim, these bad guys who are idol worshippers, and they are bad people. I miss them, God says. I miss them, I want them. I wait for the moment they'll come. I just saw the Rebbe was speaking, I saw in New York, and I was in New York, I saw a video from the Rebbe's talk from 1976, 77, and some other movement, Hasidic movement, came out against Chabad. Why Chabad goes out to put on film with Jews? Why you reach out to other Jews? They are showing their evil. That the Rebbe said something very interesting. The Rebbe said that there is a medrash that said that Hashem loves the wicked. He loves the wicked more than the righteous. That I add, but I'm telling you, more than the righteous. And our job is, God, who the prophet is talking to Ephraim. You know, in a good book, that goes back to here. You remember, Jacob, why I missed I wanted to say the beginning of the class was just with this thought to finish. Why Isaac gave the blessing to Esau? Because he was blind, because he didn't know. No, to Esau. He wanted to give to Esau, right? Why he wanted to give to Esau? He was blind, he didn't know. That's superficial answers. Talk about the tzaddik. He knew that Esau has unbelievable potentials. If Esau will do what God wants, will be much stronger than Jacob. Jacob is compared to a sheep who is doing everything quiet, relaxed. Jacob was like an axe.
He's on fire.
With his full force. The forces that Esau had were unbelievable. That Isaac said, I want to give the blessings to Esau. Maybe this will give him the strength to turn around to the good direction. And what he can accomplish with his capabilities, with his drive, is unbelievable. The goal is to convert Esau to God. Rebecca was more realistic. She said, you can give him the blessing, it's like giving Ahmadinejad a nuclear weapon. It's not going to end up good. But Isaac was already there, so to speak. Isaac said, I believe I can turn. Isaac was, if you want, a little bit naive. He believed that Esau can turn around. But that was the logic. The idea is Ephraim should turn to God. Esau should turn to God. The bad, because the strength that evil people have are much more. You ever saw people do a mitzvah? They do a mitzvah. The krachts, they do a mitzvah. But they do something they want to do. The energy is where you are, where you really are. You know where you really are? In your business. Everywhere else, somebody talks to you, you might forget. Where is you completely engaged 150%? Only when you're making money. Nothing else. Your wife talks to you, yeah. When you're talking about business, you cannot sleep at night. That's why when you give charity is the biggest thing.
You always say like the people that are passionate, like people that